Hello, fellow dog men, dog ladies. We're checking on the pups. These are off Echo and Joey. What's up, puppies? Oh. They'll be 3 weeks on Tuesday. Anyway, there's, I think, 3 of them are already sold, and I can't even remember what's male and female. I try to leave them alone whenever they're, like, young, you know. I don't try to mess with them. I just check on them every day. When I get about this age, though, I like to get the mom out. Take her out during the day and for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I put her back. What's up, little Phoenix? What's up, girl? Is your swing in the tree? Your swing is in the tree, girl. I tried to do a video yesterday, but I'm gonna touch a little bit on breeding. I mean, it's like, you know, puppy season. You know, I mentioned about how I breed, and this isn't how I'm telling you to do this or anything like that. There you go, girl. It's just how I do it. So what I'll do is, you know, I go back to the third generation. First of all, let me start out by saying this. There's a big discrepancy on what matters in a pedigree. You know, a lot of people I think this got screwed up, because a lot of people think that the first 3 generations is all that matters. The first 3 generations is all that matters when it comes to producing traits. All the dogs in your pedigree matter. How else are you going to be able to trace it back to figure out what to cross it with? Because what I do is I try to recreate combinations that worked in the past. Eli Carver dogs were barnstorming dogs. They added Snooty to it, and we got Chinaman. So, I mean, yeah, the whole pedigree matters, but not when it comes to breeding. When it comes to breeding, you're only going to produce the qualities of the dogs that are in the first 3 generations. So, granted, here and there, they're going to throw a gene and things like that, you know. You know, you can't account for when they're going to throw a gene, how many dogs out of the litter are going to throw a gene, but I swear, get it, girl. But yeah, so all your pedigree matters. All your generations matter when it comes to tracing the bloodline to see what you got, so that you can cross it, so that you can, you know, I like to recreate, like, for example, Raven is 50-50 Eli Bolio. Hey, Coco girl. 50-50 Eli Bolio. So when I take her to Stomper, I'll basically be recreating Frisco, you know. So that's what I'm saying about all the pedigree matters. So like I was saying, I go back to the 3rd generation. I try to find a dog in there that I'm going back to what I've already got in it, you know, trying to keep it from being too scatterbred. Yeah, you just breed good dogs, you know, tested dogs, But here's the thing. I think it was Schoolboy or somebody did a interview with Mr. Gray. This is just for example. They bred, he had a dog named Satan. I want to say it was like a 4-time or something. Don't quote me on that, but Anyway, he was unbeatable, unstoppable, whatever. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Ken Allen's double grand champion, Tornado. Awesome female, whatever. Well, I think Ken Allen ended up with Satan, and he was game tested. I think that they said something like he was 4-dogged or something like that. But so they bred it with double grand champion Tornado. Not a bulldog in the bunch. Didn't get anything, at least according to what they said in the interview. So, and then again, you take Floyd Boudreaux, Jerry Clemens. Jerry Clemens owned Spook. Well, they bred Spook. Everybody knows who Spook is. They bred Spook to Eli and got Bullison, Eli Jr., Brendy, I think was her name, an awesome female. I can't remember her name. But they bred her at 9 months old and on her first heat. And got a litter that we're still breeding today. So there's one end of opposite ends of the spectrum. Breeding 2 dogs that were 4-time double grand champion, yada yada, and then breeding an untested young female and getting completely opposite results. So here's the thing. It's all a crapshoot. It's a fucking gamble. You know? What it boils down to is, can the dog produce? So really, breeding tested dogs doesn't, granted, I wouldn't breed 2 fucking curs. I wouldn't breed two cold dogs. I would at least make sure, if I had a cold female, I'd at least make sure I had a good male. But completely opposite results. So my thing is, if you breed and you don't even really, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you don't even have to keep the whole litter. As long as you are good friends or stay in contact, you let people know that, hey, this is a prospect breeding, and and then see what you got. You got to see what you got. You got to, I know that it's got to all be they all got to be raised the same amount of time, same amount of whatever, same kind of upbringing, because it's 50% the dog man or dog woman and 50% the dog. You can't stick a dog on a chain and expect him to be something great. You got to spend time with the dogs. I'm out here every day. This little bitch right here, I love her. I like her a lot. She's a sweetie. Yeah. She comes and sees me every day when I do her water. She's like, it's time to pet me. Pet me. Yeah. She's got a phenomenal freaking physique, boy. Oh, you a loudmouth. No. Hey. She was a barker, man, whenever I got her. Lord. I watched a video on how to scold them with your eyes, and I was like, surely that shit don't work on a damn bulldog. But it did. It worked. You can scold a dog with your eyes the way you look at him. You just got to stare at him and don't blink. Let him know you're the alpha. I'm the alpha, bitch. You hear me? Huh? Nah. Good girl. You're a good girl. And so anyway, getting back to breeding. So I go back to the 3rd generation. Not that the entire pedigree is what I'm going to get when I breed. You're only going to get the traits of the first 3 generations. So I go back to the 3rd. Find a dog that's already in the pedigree or multiple times in the pedigree. And if that don't work, if I can't find a dog with the traits that I'm missing and when I want to breed it to, I go to the next bloodline that is in the pedigree or the second most of or whatever. I think you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is get those traits that I'm missing and bring them back up to the front. You want to bring them back up into the first 3. That way I can keep reproducing those traits that I'm lacking. So if it works, I'm like, all right, now I found what clicks. This with this with this, brings it back up to the front. But you got to keep doing that. Like, you only get maybe 2 or 3 generations out of that before you have to go to the third and bring it back up to the front, because where I gained mouth, I might lose gameness. Where I gained gameness, I might lose intelligence. Hey, Joey. So that's the whole idea with going back to the third. Trying to keep it from being too scatterbred. Everybody wants to be breeders today. And you can breed a scatterbred dog. I mean, there's, hell, all the bloodlines we're going off of today are all off of crosses. I mean, so now, you know, and I guess we'll always be stuck on the famous bloodlines, Red Boy, Jeep, you know, Mayday and Hollingsworth, you know, Bolio. I don't think we'll ever move past that, because people just can't do like, it's a different time, it's a different era. You know, if you have a champion, it's gonna have to be so secretive that that nobody can know. I mean, you're a fool if you try to put it on Peds Online or anything like that, that your dog is a one-time OTC or something. That's just foolish. So anyway, that's like, I guess trying to sum it up, you know, it's just all really a fucking gamble. The only way you can really tell if the breeding did any good was either feedback from people that you've given dogs to that held on to them, and, you know, or keeping the whole litter. But either way, if you got a good dog, I mean, there's only one way to tell it. Can it produce? So you got to breed it to find that out. But like I say, all my pups, I got a money back. I mean, puppy guaranteed, where at 24 months of age, because that's full maturity. If it isn't what you want, bring it back. I'll give you another one. Because I don't want somebody to spend their hard-earned money on a piece of shit. If it turns out to not be everything that you wanted it to be, then bring it back. There's multiple reasons why I do that. Because I stand behind my dogs, and I want to know, like I said earlier, 50% the dog, 50% the dog man. I don't know what kind of person like, everybody can put on a good show whenever it's time to buy the pup. You know, they have all these big plans for it and how well it's going to be treated and taken care of. And, you know, honestly, you don't know that. You can only just go by their word. But, so I want to get the dog back. I want them to have a reason to give it back to me. I want to be the one to say, okay, yeah, this is a defect. This one should have been culled or whatever. But I want to be the judge of that, because I don't know what kind of dog men, dog women, whatever they are. And I'm not saying that any one of my people are bad or good. I just want that guarantee that they can bring it back, so that they don't feel like that. I want them to know they got their money's worth. And I want them to know that I did everything I could to try to get them their money's worth. And then also, that's my blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, you know, that's my hard work. And I want to be the judge of that. I want to be the judge of whether or not it's a usable dog. So, getting to puppy prices. A lot of people got litters right now. I mean, it's that time of year. And the way I see it, let's say, for example, I'm looking for a Spike dog. Everybody knows I run a lot of Spike. Spike is good for adding mouth. It's snooties in there. It's good for adding intelligence. I got two families, my Spike family and my Eli Bolio family. So And I got Spike off of two brothers. Like, for example, all right, so like her litter. If you're looking for Spike dogs and it's all the way back in the 6th or 7th generation, I guess what I'm trying to say is just because a dog is registered and has papers and is registered with ADBA or SDR, whatever, doesn't make it a $1,500, $1,200 dog. If it's just got papers, I mean, that's a $700, $800 dog. Now moving up into the 4th and 5th. If you've got it in the 4th and 5th, the dogs you're looking for, and it's a quantity of it, ROMs, whatever, grand champions, champions, whatever. If it's in the 4th or 5th, that might be like $1,000 dog. You know, maybe a little more, depending. Like she's 3/4 Spike off Santos. Stomper's 3/4 Spike off Sluggo. Sluggo and Santos were littermate brothers. Coco here, she's directly off a Register of Merit. So that means my percentages will be higher when I breed her. Anytime you can get a Register of Merit in the first 3 generations, that's when your production percentages go up. So now her pups will command a little bit higher price because she's directly off a Register of Merit. He's a Register of Merit for a reason. He's produced X amount of champions or grand champions. But anyway, her Spike is off of Santos. Stomper's Spike is off of Sluggo, which Sluggo and Santos were littermate brothers. So in this breeding that I did with Coco, with Stomper, there's 2 different Spikes in there coming off of 2 different brothers. Spike, grand champion, Register of Merit. And then her red boy is coming directly off a Register of Merit. So now whenever it gets to the 3rd, I'll probably take her son out of this litter and breed back to her, which will be a mother-son breeding, which I typically don't do. I think it's probably been 10 years since I've done anything like a mother-son. I generally do father-daughter. But I want to keep that shit up close. I want that Register of Merit to be doubled up in the 3rd. Or in the 2nd. Yeah, 2nd or 3rd. So then when I produce something off of that, my percentages of good dogs out of that litter will go up. So yeah, the pedigree matters in so many different ways. Pricing, genetics, traits only applies to the first 3 generations of the ped. But I think that a lot of people are getting that screwed up with saying the rest of the ped don't matter. No, it does matter. Otherwise, you can't recreate the combinations that have worked in the past. And I'm not saying every dog's different and that's going to work. But it's a place to start. It's a plan. I mean, there's not a scientific definite way to do this. Just educated guesses. Joey, why are you laying in the middle like that? I guess you want to see all around you. And like a daughter of Joey here out of that Echo breeding will go back to him. So anyway, guys, I got work to do. I got to pick up shit and do waters. But I just wanted to give you my take on how I breed, how I run my yard, so that maybe it'll help you come to some conclusions about some dogs that you have. Maybe you're undecided on how to breed it, what to breed to. So hopefully this clears all that up for you, or at least maybe gives you a plan. I don't know, but all the people that show us support, Gas and Go, Mayhem, Airhead. I always forget to leave out Airhead. That's where Warmouth got Joey from, and he's really, really built for athleticism. He's got pretty good durability. He's a little tall. Some people got mixed feelings about that. To me, it's just a big target, but he's very athletic. Has good wind. His mouth hasn't been tested. I don't know what kind of mouth he has. It's been a while since I worked him. But this little girl right here, she's proven to be a good little puppy. She's probably about 4.5 months right now. So I like her energy. I like the fact that when I'm working her, she's constantly looking at me. Like, she's focused on what she does, but she'll glance over at me real quick like, Daddy, am I doing what you want me to do? I really like that about her. You know, she also has a desire to be around humans. So that is a big thing for me. I don't want a codependent dog, but I don't want a dog that's too much of an independent, because I like a dog that wants to be around me, wants to be finds pleasure in doing what I want it to do. It gets its reward from that. Like when I say, good girl, baby. There's a good baby. She started out being a barker. I'm telling you, it's weird, but you can scold them with your eyes. I know that sounds stupid. I didn't believe it either. But anyway, just to mention a few kennels, there's a bunch more I'm leaving out. But I want to thank everybody for the support. And y'all keep on scratching, and I'll catch you on the next video.